Good evening and welcome to Sports Overtime. We are here in our digital studio. You can watch Southeast Sports Plus Monday to Friday, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We spent this past week previewing a lot of great games in and around college football and basketball with our friends from Nexstar Nation. Here's the best of. Now as this team preps for an Alabama team that likes to run and gun, throw, they have an identity of what they like to do. How do you see this team competing against an Alabama team who will press you, and if you don't have any effort, will expose it very quickly?
Yeah, I think competing is probably a strong word to use for this Texas team. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do much of that against Alabama, whereas the bright spots they've had this season have quickly dwindled into darkness and somebody that Sean Miller has gone after, and the effort is not there. He's pulling them out of games. He's clearly frustrated with them. There's a video of him chucking a towel on the ground against Tennessee. There was a picture earlier of Modest Foikatitis, the big man from FAU, who early on looked like, I was kind of unsure what he'd be able to bring moving to a conference like this and withstanding the physicality. But he looked great in non-conference, and I was kind of buying in as to what this guy could bring. And he is drawing the ire of Sean Miller as of late, too. So when you don't have a post player that can kind of change the pace for Texas and be that half-court offense guy you can run things through down low, and you certainly don't have good defenders that can guard and transition the way that Sean Miller would want, it could get very ugly against Alabama, because as we talked about with Jordan Pope, yeah, he could score a lot, but there's players like when they don't score a lot, they're contributing in other ways. Jordan Pope does not contribute in other ways. He's a volume scorer. If you guys remember, the basketball player from Syracuse a number of years ago got drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, Dion Waiters, was very angry when my Cleveland Cavaliers drafted him. He was an inefficient scorer, and he was just like, I think it was his quote where he's like, I'd rather go like 0 for 30 than 0 for 9 because that means you lost confidence or something like that. His game is kind of similar to Jordan Pope's. Now, Dion Waiters is a top 5 pick in the NBA and an NBA player. I'm not saying Pope is that, but like, those are guys where it's like that is their game, and if it's not working, like they should not be on the floor. So a player like that against a team like Alabama is not a recipe for success.
And those were the glory days of my Orange. These are not the glory days for Texas.
Yeah,
not at all. We'll flip it to something more positive in Texas on the court. That is the women's basketball team. Anytime that you hold a team under 40 points is insane, and you could do that against teams that are not on your level. To do that in the SEC is absolutely incredible. This team now 18-0 on the season. What do you make of this squad as they compete for a national championship?
Yeah, I was there yesterday, and it literally looked like they were in a flow state. Like that entire first quarter, it was like there was almost no talking in the sense of like, it wasn't like, hey, I need to direct you here, I need you to do this. When Texas had the ball, it looked like they've been playing together. When we're all in local sports, and when you interview like a high school seniors and we ask the question like, what's the key to your success this year? Like, oh, we just been playing together since we're kids, and like that's the standard answer you always get. I'm like, all right, sweet, but like, what else you got? Right. Like this Texas team looks like one of those teams that's been playing together for like 20 years right now. Obviously, like there's the adversity is going to come, and their coach is going to claim that there's adversity there already. But like the way they were playing yesterday was truly unbelievable on both ends of the floor. That was the worst loss in Auburn history. And Texas was up 24-1, and I found it so fascinating. I mean, all good coaches are like this, where they're never just like, man, my team was perfect tonight. They were so great. Like Vic Schaefer, the Texas head coach, looked irate. Like they were up by like 30 in the second quarter, and they had a bad pass. Auburn came down, and I was shooting on the baseline, and I got the bad pass, Auburn scoring, and then I like panned softly over to Vic Schaefer, and he's just like eyebrows down, so angry, and he's like looking at the fans behind him, like, you see what I have to deal with? And I'm like, you're the best team in the country, man.
They heard what Nate Oates had to say the other day. In case you didn't hear it yesterday, we played it on the show. Nate Oates sandwiched it in compliments. However, the meat of that was, hey, Vanderbilt really hasn't played anybody as of yet. And this is before the game, obviously. Vanderbilt went on to win. This was Tanner afterwards.
Yeah, we all definitely had a chip on our shoulder, like we had something to prove. I mean, if you go down the line of who we've beaten, though, I mean, SMU just beat UNC, UCF beat Kansas. So we kind of just block out that noise. We know we play some good teams, and we know how good we are. We knew everybody believed we were going to win that game tonight, so we just wanted to prove that to everybody, the whole country.
I mean, there's always going to be something said, and they'll be saying something after this one. We're in the SEC. Right now, it's the #1 ranked conference in the country. I do know this. The SEC told me before the league started that we had the toughest conference schedule of anybody in the league. So what we're going to do is try to go 1-0 in every game. Whoever comes, we're going to try to beat them. And we've done it 15 times so far.
The end of that statement there where he's like, hey, everybody that's been put in front of us, we have now beaten. This is a mentality I think that if you're a Vanderbilt fan, you want to have your team have, not necessarily buying into their hype, but understanding this is going to be a tough league moving forward as they now get ready for another big matchup here in the SEC. What's your overall take about what this team needs to do, both on the court and just from a mental standpoint, knowing that there's very few teams that have 0 losses so far?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you take care of business of the team in front of you, then you should be in good shape going into March. That's all you can really do when you're a team like Vanderbilt. I think having that kind of underdog mentality that, like, hey, people may doubt us, but we know that we belong here. It's kind of what led them to the NCAA tournament last season in that unlikely run. And I think having guys, including the trio of returners in Devin McLaughlin, Tyler Tanner, and Tyler Nickel, who we just saw on this video montage here, having those 3 guys as your core centerpieces, knowing what it took last year and kind of the attitude and mentality will certainly help them moving forward. The thing that's impressed me with Vanderbilt the most, guys, is when you lose as many players as they did last year, a lot of these teams, particularly the top level blue blood programs, tend to go into the portal and get stars, but Vanderbilt supplemented through the portal with like role players. Duke Miles will provide double-digit scoring this year. Jalen Washington will provide some much-needed length off the bench. Tyler Harris, he didn't have a good shooting night the other night, but he is a sharp shooter who could hit shots for you in a pinch. And so Mark Byington really looked at, I think, what went wrong in the NCAA tournament, not necessarily in the SEC schedule, and said, hey, I want to win games in March. And he got guys that I think who could certainly do that and play their roles the right way.
We open our show with quarterback moves out of the transfer portal to their next destination. We continue hour number 2 with something similar and getting in the SEC, but this time it's SEC to SEC. Former Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons, he's landed in his new home. He's headed over to Columbia, Missouri. He will join Eli Drinkwitz's team with the Missouri Tigers. Of course, famously lost his starting job early in the season. Not too bad because that guy is still playing. Trinidad Chambliss has his team in the college football playoff. Austin Simmons will look to do the same thing in 2026 with the Missouri Tigers. Welcome to Southeast Sports Plus. I'm Gerhard Mathangani, joined by Patrick Walsh. And Patrick, it felt like a situation where you're too young to remember a guy named Wally Pipp, but Wally Pipp got injured, I think, at one point, ended up losing his job, and next thing you know, there is a famous player that comes in, takes his job, and then now Wally Pipp ends up becoming a verb. Now, in my opinion, I do think that Austin Simmons is a good player, to a great player. I don't think he's on the same level as Trinidad Chambliss, but you needed to have games to prove it, and now we have those games, but a good landing spot here for Simmons.
Too young, as you mentioned, to understand that one, but I'm not too young to understand the Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady.
Yes,
I almost feel
that's a good one. Yeah,
I mean, again, you can't really, but at the time,
right?
But take away all the Super Bowls and everything. At the time, I feel like this is probably as close as you can make it to that, because coming into the year, Austin Simmons was the starter. I remember me personally talking about before the year. I was like, okay, how much did Austin Simmons learn from Jackson Dart last year, sitting behind him? I believe Austin Simmons is a former baseball player too.
Yeah, he is.
That's right. At Ole Miss. So, coming into the year, I was like, all right, this guy, I think he's got all the tools there from a raw athlete perspective. It's just how much of the mental game did he learn.
Stay with us here on Sports Overtime, and remember, you can watch our show Southeast Sports Plus from 2 to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device.
No, seriously. He is the best point guard in the country. You can throw up the stats. Throw him up. Throw him up.
Throw him up.
I'll argue it.
I'll throw him up.
Best point guard in the country. Okay. This is what he did. Against Ole Miss, right?
Yes,
this was
against
his
Ole Miss.
performance against Ole Miss. Sorry, I'm looking at the stats. I'm like, that's not his season stats. That's against Ole Miss. But again, his season stats look good too. But yeah, I mean, you talk about another great performance from Darius Acuff. Everybody in the country is talking about this guy right now, and for a reason. We have been on the train much longer than everybody else, guys, on this show. At least whenever you have me on, I'm a Darius Acuff enthusiast. I'm a Malik Thomas
Might as well change your
enthusiast.
Twitter handle to that.
Actually, you know what? I might put it. Courtney Mims, Darius Acuff enthusiast. I really love the kid. And not just, here's why. Guys, here's why he's turning heads. It's not just because, wow, he's all these stats. Yes, that's a reason, but also because he is a true freshman. Right? He is a true freshman in the point guard spot on the court. And to me, growing up in a basketball family for such a long time, I just can't believe he's a true freshman. He doesn't look like a true freshman out there.
Right.
And he's in situations. What impresses me the most about his game is he gets in tough situations and he still finds a way to get out of it and make a good shot.
Right.
And still go ahead. Sometimes the pressure will get to these freshman kids. And you can be as talented as you want, but the pressure of playing in the SEC and the pressure of playing elite college basketball sometimes will get to these kids. And so you can have a really talented freshman. You can have a really talented freshman point guard, but you cannot teach what Darius Acuff does. That is just mentality.
Yeah.
That's just this high basketball IQ. And you know, he's built kind of, you know, he's strong, he's physical, he's a 3-level scorer. I mean, he can do everything.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane to watch. If you haven't watched a game that he's played yet, please do. If you're just a basketball fan, you'll just love watching him, no matter who you root for.
I think when we look at professional sports, a lot of fan bases like to say, oh, we won the trade. Oh, we lost the trade. Well, it seems like, you know, you lose Boogie Fland. It seems like you won that trade because you've got Darius Acuff Jr. But now looking and seeing what's going on over there in Lexington, where you just got Coach Calipari from 2 years ago, it seems like you won that trade as well. Is there a sense of gratitude over there in Arkansas?
You know, I'm going to put it to you like this.
Oh,
I'm going
boy.
to put it to you like this, okay? You know, you have the ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend.
Oh, boy, here we
right?
go.
And the ex thinks that, oh, my gosh, look at them with the downgrade. No. I think y'all have the downgrade.
Bingo.
And Arkansas got the upgrade. And that they just, you know, they don't want to see it that way. They don't want to see it that way. They don't want to see it that way. Got to get a lot of Kentucky people in my mentions right now saying that, okay. No, stop crying, okay? Stop crying. We understand you didn't want him anymore. You didn't want him, okay? The relationship had gone bad. And you didn't want him anymore. So now you have to say bye-bye, and you have to see him with the hot model. You have to see him now, and you have to just understand that it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
We are so pleased and happy to be joined by our good friend Parker Ream, joining us there from Waco, Texas. Parker, there is so much to chew on here in this segment. I wish it was 30 minutes long. Catching up with you here. For the first part, let's talk football overall. Cam Coleman, probably the number one player according to most of the rankings in the transfer portal, former Auburn player. One of his visits was there to Texas A&M. Did you get any inkling about what was said, how that went, and maybe if they were able to lure him to be a future Aggie?
Yeah, I think they're trying to, but they're also keeping it pretty under wraps, kind of like Fort Knox. You know, they're not divulging any secrets right now, but it looks like it's kind of a Lone Star showdown battle between Texas A&M and Texas right now. Maybe some outside interest from USC, but certainly Texas A&M heavily in the mix, and that would be quite the 1-2 punch there. Once again, with Mario Craver, you go out and land another star wide receiver out of the portal. After last year, they did the same with Casey Concepcion, and maybe that's some of the draw there is maybe Cam Coleman saw some of the success that KC had in his time in the maroon and white this past season, and maybe he thinks that he could have some of that success in Aggie land and potentially be on a winning team. I think that's probably what he's really looking for, is a winning team to make him look better, in terms of draft positioning.
Stay with us here on Sports Overtime. And remember, you can watch our show, Southeast Sports Plus, from 2 to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. You can find us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device.
It brings up the fact that the NFC East seems to have this down. Jackson Dart had a pretty nice year.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone could have seen Jaden Daniels' success coming. Obviously won the Heisman over there at LSU.
Right.
But also another SEC guy, Dak Prescott. It's been so long now since that rookie year where outside of that first game against the Giants, he just ripped off, like, I think it was an 11 or a 12-game win streak to lead the Cowboys into the number 1 seed into the playoffs. So, I mean, it's just I almost want to say sometimes in the NFL we're spoiled with great talent coming up right away, right out of the draft, and just being able to light it up. But I don't know if I would fully expect that out of Ty Simpson just based on, some of the decision making he had in the latter parts of the season. We saw what happened at times when he was under pressure, especially during that Georgia game and during the first quarter of that Oklahoma game.
Ty had an injury, obviously, and he really wanted to try to go out there, and we treated him there at halftime, and he gave it a series. And just I know he feels like he let down the team, and there's no way that that's the case. He went out there and tried to battle, and that's who he is. And so I'm never going to let that, be a thing where, he let us down in any way. And so, making sure he knows that. And, Austin being ready to go. He did some nice things when he got on the football field there tonight.
All right, so I'm going to play a game here.
Okay, here we go. We like playing games.
Would you like Ty Simpson or this guy? I'm going to start in 2022 because in 2019, it was Kyler Murray. I think that Kyler in college was better than when Ty Simpson.
He should have went to baseball, though.
Right, exactly. Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, who were 20 and 21. So I'll take those guys off the board. In 2022, is Ty Simpson right now as good or better than Kenny Pickett?
Better.
I think he's better as well. Yeah. In 2023, is he as good, better, or probably the same as Bryce Young?
See, that's the gray area.
Yeah,
that's the gray area because I mean we've seen what Bryce Young. It's getting there.
Right.
I mean we're going to see Bryce Young for the first time in the playoffs this upcoming week. But that game against the Bucs and then the other game against the Seahawks. I think Ty Simpson's got the edge.
A little bit. I think he's got the edge as well. Other first-round quarterbacks, C.J. Stroud.
C.J. is better.
I think so, too. Anthony Richardson. Ty, in my opinion, Ty's better. Yeah. Richardson had all the upside, but Ty was.
He did, but I mean, just like other quarterbacks under Billy Napier, just could not.
Right, Ty was better. Go to 2024, Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams is better.
I think so too.
I still think that they need one like Rome Odunze or Luther Burden to just step up as a true wide receiver one. They just still don't really have it.
Yeah. A couple more quarterbacks that were in that class.
There we go.
Jaden Daniels. I think we both think Jaden was better. And Drake May, which at the time, this is the reason why I brought this game up.
Okay.
At the time, if you just take where Drake May, don't think about Drake May now as a potential MVP. Drake May then, Ty Simpson at his peak, as you mentioned, in that 4-game stretch, to me, those are about the same kind of player.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's much, in the next 2 years is going to be the MVP.
I'll say this. I mean, it definitely depends on what system Ty goes into. I mean, you can't just throw him into a situation where, I would fully expect if Ty Simpson were to be drafted in the first round to potentially go to a team that's hiring a coach.
Right.
Just a new system. Because, I mean, all of these other guys, it seems like they have their coach on lock. I mean, maybe Cleveland?
Yeah.
Do you roll the dice on Shadur?
Or
have you seen enough out of him?
Yeah. I don't think I've seen enough out of him to make him my franchise guy, but I've seen enough out of him to at least say, hey, you could battle for the starting position with a guy like Ty Simpson or whoever. Bring another quarterback in and just say, hey, none of you have earned this.
Yeah.
Go battle for it. Go to rookie mini camp, go to mini camp, go to training camp, and then go to battle for it.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel's definitely not better than Ty Simpson.
Right, exactly. Dylan Gabriel was not. Yeah, and I'm just doing first round guys because he's projected as a first round player. The other two, Michael Penix Jr. and J.J. McCarthy.
Penix is better just because he's more versatile. JJ McCarthy hands the ball off 40 times a game in college, so JJ is not good. 9, as he likes to say.
That's our show tonight. Remember, you can watch Southeast Sports Plus Monday to Friday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the free WKRG Plus app. Catch us on your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV device. Good night.